Okay, we are back. Donovan Sadiq, Mr. Moreno Valley, Daryl Terrell. This is the Hot Seat Radio Show, live from Moreno Valley, representing the Inland Empire, and anybody else that might want to listen out there. A lot of great stuff in the last hour. Daryl, our last pod show garnered 17,000 views on YouTube and social media alone. I never did check the analytics of the other one. Before we get into it, I want to remind everybody you can download the Hot Seat Radio Show on Google and Apple Store and Play. And instead of looking all over the web for us, you could just see what we're talking about and get tired of hearing our mouths and our opinions and things like that. But some people say our opinions are stupid, but a lot of people say our opinions are spot dead on. Coming up, we have several elections coming up next year. So 2018 is going to be a pivotal congressional and election coming up in regards to Republican or Democrat, which to me doesn't matter because it's the ruling party. You see what's going on up in Congress and the White House, and it just doesn't matter who you put up there. They're all the same. I want to remind everybody again, go to www.ajaforcongress.com. Please check her profile out. She is running for Congress in the 41st District against incumbent Mark Takano. Everybody knows I used to work for Mark Takano. Mark Takano is a good guy. I'm not saying he's bad, but I don't believe in professional politicians. And I do not believe Mr. Takano has done enough jobs to address the Inland Empire as a whole and what we're dealing with in regards to warehousing, health effects, and all these other things that seem to be going on and that I'm concerned about because I got to breathe this air. Also, you're going to have assembly member races, and Jose Medina, he's been keeping a low profile. He's doing a lot of stuff up there. But at the same time, you guys got to hold these people accountable. And in the city of Moreno Valley itself, we are going to be having an election, mayor, District 4 and District 2. That means Mr. Gaiba, Mr. Idiot Carberas, and Idiot Gutierrez. Also, I want to bring up Riverside Mayor Rusty Bailey. He was called in for an ethics violation that was reported by a resident. And Riverside has an ethics board. And it seems to me that this ethics board, being some type of watchdog, is holding their officials accountable. And I know Scott Heverin, a longtime resident and person that speaks up for what's right, has been saying that we need an ethics board here in Moreno Valley. If we can form some kind of ethics committee, Mr. Moreno Valley, Daryl, would you be for or against that?
Oh, I'd be for it because they need to have that committee. It's long overdue. It can help to make it better, to make the community better.
Well, with the local shenanigans of Idiot Gutierrez and his partner, Mr. Carberas, going down to Miami, only a select few of us have written in complaints and did these things. But because of budget cuts, a lot of the investigative organizations can't do the job. They want us to do all the job for us, or they just send them a letter and slap them on the hand. As everybody remembers, Criminal Baca, I was the one that filed an FPPC violation on her to where she was given a slap on the wrist for not reporting her findings in time and readmitting or whatever it is. But the point is, I got it on record. And, we're going to continue to watch her do that. But they called Rusty Bailey in. And I don't know what the repercussions of going to come out. It was reported in the Press Enterprise. And we're going to be watching that very, very steadily. But I also believe we need an ethics committee, as Scott, I believe, put out, that is formed of not, it can't be no ad hoc where Ito could put his people on there. It has to be people who have a background, who've run, like yourself. I think you would be excellent for the ethics committee. Carrie Thin would be excellent. People that are really involved in that. And I believe that there should be a standard or a vet. If you're getting money from Highland Fairview, or if you're getting you're a former employer of Highland Fairview who wants to do business with the city, you can't be sitting on that board.
Well, that's the thing too. It has to ethics board is one thing. Also, we got to have some kind of real campaign finance reform in this. I know the dark money always gets involved. But also,
Well, it's not really dark money
but
because we know where the money's coming from. So.
well, yeah. But see, the thing is too, though, when you have candidates that are receiving money, they should exclude themselves. Now, I remember I talked to a developer years ago, and I asked him the reason why he never gave money to campaigns, and he says because if he did, that you would have to exclude yourself from vote on anything he puts forth, which makes sense. That's why he.
That's a man of ethics, our person.
Yeah,
of ethics.
that's why he doesn't do that. And so, to me, if you are getting money, you should exclude yourself. You say, you know what, I can't vote on this. If you get money from PACs and things like that, and it comes before, you tell them, I have no control over that because it's legal for me to have knowledge that you're spending on my behalf in support of me. But I tell you what, if something comes before me, I will not. I won't be support it. I won't support it, but I won't vote on it.
Right.
Because people look at that and says, he getting money and he's voting for it. It looks like that. Even though you say you may support it, that's a good thing. But on the other hand, you should just exclude yourself.
Right, you should, but if it truly really is a good project, and everybody's behind it, I don't think there's a problem with somebody voting for something that the whole community wants.
I would say, I would agree with that. And if it's a good project,
and that's why I keep telling people about the WLC. If it was such a popular issue and people really wanted it, why didn't he put it to a vote of the people? Because he knew they was going to be shot down.
Well, it should have been put. Well, again, it should have been put to the people.
But
I know. The story didn't.
He's not going to do that because he knows.
But also when I read things like, what was it, 50? How many people? 45,000 was in support of it.
Right.
That bothers me because the fact is, if I sign a petition, I sign a petition because I want to vote on it, not because I support the issue.
Well, and you got to remember that number of 60,000 and 50,000 people that supposedly support it, that's not true. Because what they did was they had 3 petitions.
Exactly.
That had one of them had 15,000 on it, and then what they did was they took the one that had 15,000, they multiplied it 3 times. So 30, 45,000. So they didn't even get the numbers that they claim that they got.
Because even if you signed it, that doesn't mean that you support it. Basically, you want to vote on it.
But when people don't do their homework and research what they're signing, because for all a lot of people that sign these petitions, if they don't read what they're doing, they could be signing over their house,
exactly,
and their cars, and that's basically what happened. But they were nowhere near 50,000.
Well,
signatures.
That's the thing about it. If I believe in a project, then I'm going to take it to the people. If I strongly believe that my project is going to benefit this community, I'd say, you know what? I'm going to take it to the people, and I'm going to actually let the people vote on it. I'm going to do a campaign. Opposition can do whatever they want to do, but we're going to have it out and let the people decide.
Right.
Because I have that confidence that it passed.
But see, again, the WLC did not pass, or it wouldn't have passed. That's why he refused to let the people vote on it. And he put so much money into that election. But let's give a quick evaluation. Idiot Gutierrez has been mayor for over a year. And what is your grade you want to give him there in his performance?
I would just say it wasn't.
From A to B, C, D,
I would just say I give him a C.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's your opinion.
Well, I say it's because I haven't, like I said, I only seen something, but I haven't seen.
No, but I think that grade is interesting that you gave him a C. Now, my background, the way I look at it is anybody that doesn't have ethics, and you're willing to manipulate and get involved in issues that have nothing to do with you, I give Idiot Gutierrez an F. Because if you're going to be involved in those kind of shenanigans, what are you doing that we don't know about? Like I said, I know you're an easy guy, but to me that's a straight F, because you're helping somebody cheat, and you're using your position and your rank or whatever you're doing. Straight F, you're out of there. So Victoria Baca.
Well, I would.
I want you to take in mind she hasn't been seen in our district since she got elected.
I haven't seen. I would have to say at this time a F.
F. and
I agree with that because
and-
I haven't seen anything.
right, and I'm giving her F because she also helped manipulate District 4 and get their person that they wanted. Victoria Baca is supposed to be representing us,
Yeah.
not Highland Fairview. Straight F, Victoria Baca, but that's nothing new because all she's been getting in her life is Fs. Gaiba.
I would give Guyver probably. I'll give him a B, or I say a B.
Okay.
I'll give him a B.
And based on
Based on the fact that he has what I've seen demonstrated some fight back.
Independence, some
And it's an
independence.
independence, and to me that goes a long way when you're independent. When some people would think that he got so much money
$250,000.
from Highland Fairview indirectly or
Yeah, not
directly.
indirectly, directly. Mhm.
Okay. That you were strong enough to stand up on your 2 feet and say, you know what, he's independent. To me, that goes a long way.
Right. Gaiba's a good friend of mine. He's a fellow veteran, but I'm going to have to give him a D+. And the reason I gave him a D+ is because he did receive $250,000 from Highland Fairview, and he voted for a project as somebody as intelligent as Mr. Gaiba is, to not do his research and not understand that what this man is promising is not good for the community. You can ask any logician. It doesn't make sense. It is not in the right area. It doesn't make sense. And for somebody as highly intelligent as Mr. Gaiba, it's no surprise that he voted for it. But again, $250,000. What can you do?
Well, yeah, that's why I say when a person, like I said, stands up and become independent, to me, that shows me that they do have courage. He's a good. Because
I'm not going to say you're wrong when he says you have courage, but it doesn't take courage to take money, $250,000 to get elected and then get up there. Courage to me, I'm going to have to disagree with you on the courage part, is, okay, I took the money, but I still voted intelligently because he never articulates why this is a good project. Have you ever thought about that?
yeah,
I can articulate why it's a bad project right now. It's in the wrong location. 60 freeway, 14,000 additional trucks, just based on that alone, bad project. Now, if you want to move it to Edgemont, interstate, near the 60, in that little corner,
yeah,
makes sense. Let's do it.
okay.
I see
your point.
But courage, no,
I say it's like, for instance, if I saw a person that, beyond the policy making, but when a person, again, if you get money, as I say, for instance, someone gives you, I'll say $100,000, so everyone is going to expect you to go a certain way,
sure,
right? But if you decide that, you know what, first of all, when you get that sum of money, you're going to have to decide that I'm going to make decisions based on the facts and reasoning, sound judgment, sound reasoning. But you say, you know what, I don't think it's a good project. And I stood up because it's not a good project. Not because someone gave me, I'm going to go along just to get along because you gave me money. I did it because it's bad for the community.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's courage, because the normal will be saying, you know what, he's going to vote this way, forget it. He's going to vote that way.
Right. Okay.
Well, that's what I...
Yeah,
that's
like I said, there's no wrong answer. It's just your opinion. Dave Marquez.
I would say, I would give him a B. And then the reason I give him a B, he could do a lot more. He could be more aggressive. But he does speak out, but not enough to my liking, my taste, I should say. He should be, like you're saying, he should be raising hell. He should be demanding and also being more aggressive.
Finding the facts.
Yeah, finding the facts. And letting people know that he is doing what he set out to do to be a council member.
Right. Dave's a good friend of mine also a fellow veteran. I have to give him a D+. Because you ran on, getting this stuff done and finding out, okay, let me ask you this, real quick. We had the biggest corruption scandal in FBI history happened in a small town in the state of California called Moreno Valley. And we have yet to have somebody explain to us in a report, other than mvgordy.com, what transpired and how all this rolled out.
Well, that's something that should be it. Well, again, it needs to happen, and we should demand.
I think that we have a right to know it as a citizen.
It should be. We should be owed that.
Yeah.
Because it went on and we don't know, and they say it's over with. Okay, if it's over with, okay, what are the results? What happened?
What happened to
What
get us
happened?
to this point?
Because-
What was the motivation for the corruption?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the DA owed that to us, to the citizens of this community.
Well,
yeah,
you got 5 councilmen up there that can stimulate a report from the city manager and the lawyers to get out to the residents and say, this is what happened, this is how it played out.
Well, the DA should be doing that. Because the DA, he closed the books on this.
No, the books aren't closed. The books are still open.
Okay, if it's still open then, okay, here we go. If it's still open then, we can't really come out with a report until they close the book.
But they can't close the book because they're waiting for Highland Fairview to stop. But what I'm saying
there you go. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, as council members, they can demand the city to get us what the DA has already put out.
Now, saying
to
that way, I
explain
can agree. Yeah.
what was the motivating factor. Who is this 3-0 club that was alleged?
I agree.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I agree.
We can get to the bottom of it ourselves, but what I'm trying to do is wake people up and make them think about, these are simple things, people. And if you get to know this kind of information, just something like that, will show you a pattern of how Ido Benvizi does his business.
Well, you're right. They need to shine a light on it, and I would agree that the council should put somewhere. The people need to know what happened.
Why are we electing people who just say, "Oh well, I'm here to get along"?
Well, again, I didn't vote for a person like that.
But like I said, I'm seeing people getting elected that are the same people with a different face. That's what I'm seeing being elected. We're electing a different person.
Yeah.
But it's technically the same person because they're up there doing absolutely nothing.
Well, I see what you're saying, but
absolutely nothing.
Well,
what's the difference between Marquez and LaDonna Jimson?
It's the same. It's the same
person.
It's the same Zach. To get along.
Right. It's the same person. What's the difference between LaDonna Jimson and Bill Beatty? Other than gender.
Yeah.
Same person.
Yeah.
They sat on the seat, did nothing. But they love taking photo ops.
Well, that's why we as people. Well, I keep saying we people, but I see what happened in the 4th district, so I can,
Right. And speaking of the 4th district, baby ass off Carreras.
I would have to say, I would have to say F on that. I would have to say F.
Yeah, there's no doubt there's an F on that.
There's an F on that one because
one of his first votes, he voted in a conflict of interest from somebody he took money from.
Yeah.
And if he's doing that now, what do you think he's going to do for the rest of his tenure?
I just think it's going to get worse.
So
I still, it's going to get worse.
And and that's where we're at. And I know I seem like I'm harping on this, but what I'm trying to get the listeners to understand is, number one, you got to educate yourself on these elected officials. Does it matter to you? Yes. What a city council does to you is more effective and immediately than what the federal government will do to you.
Well, yeah, because it's more. It has a direct impact.
On you.
Of what they do. If you take, like for instance, they take money to go to do the Nation Improvement Program over on the east side and take money from there, your streets are just deteriorating in other parts of the city, and so you suffer. But why should you have to suffer unless you have someone fighting and saying there's no way?
But every time we have an election, there is nobody up there fighting for the residents.
I would have to say it's frustrating. I ain't gonna lie to you, it is frustrating. Because sometimes I wouldn't even go to the council meeting. When I do, I don't have something to say. But it's frustrating, and you want to throw your hands up and say it's the way it is. But I go back and say, you know what? That's what people want you to do,
right? But and that's why I stay. But at the same time, it's the same people fighting the same battles over and over again.
Yeah, and people are not, like I said, not energized. It has to something has to bad to happen for people to raise hell about things.
Or to be aware of it.
Yeah, be aware. It's just like before, Cottonwood, I remember there was a bad accident by the Moreno Valley High School, and people were up in arms about that, but this has been going on for years, and before somebody got hit or got killed, people, they lit a fire on them. But why should something like that? It's like anything
happen
else.
Before you take
like
action.
A tragedy gets people to unify over something. Then they should have always been informed what was happening. That's why I got involved in the Traffic Safety Advisory Committee at the city, because there were a lot of issues going on, but I wanted to be part of the solution because you hear people come up about, they tell you stories about, this car flying down my street about 40, 50 miles per hour. I almost hit the kids, and the kids try to play in the street, well, they should be playing in the street, but it is flying
Well,
through
they don't have a Boys and Girls Club to go to, so they're going to play.
Yeah, so when you see things like that, then you say, well, okay, this has been going on, then why are we not doing anything about it? Well, we can't do this. Why you can't do it? Tell me, what can we do to make it work, or put a stop sign, speed bumps, or whatever you have to do to slow, so to speak, because you shouldn't, even if you didn't have kids in the street, you shouldn't be flying down a street that's like 20, speed limit is 25, and you're going about 40. So something had to happen.
Well, Darrell, let me ask you this. We're the second biggest city in Riverside County. When are we going to have a civic center?
We should have had that a long time ago. Again, it's priority, and it's about people who really going to stand up and fight. And again, it's like the library. We put this library out for so many. This thing should have been done a long time ago.
I remember when the library that we have currently was brand new.
Yeah, I came in '88. I used to go to that library, but it's growing at the seams to the point where it's like, okay, you diverted money for that bridge, but people need this library. And why we didn't have a new library? We had the money at the time to do it, but again, you have people in those seats who decided, well, we can't do it. We got to do this. We got to do something else. But the priority to me was to build that the new library, because I used to go to the meetings and say, okay, the late Councilman White, here's how we could fund a new library. And I showed them exactly how to build it. Why we're not building it. Right. See, again, it's me telling them how to do it. And like you say, how we going to do it or how it should be done.
Right.
But we're not in the seat to make it happen. And so it's frustrating.
Again, but why are we electing these people who sit there and do absolutely nothing? LaDonna Jimson has done more since she's been bounced out of the seat than when she sat on it, and she had the power then.
Well, that's what you have when you get elected to the position. You should be able to emphasize the type of, if you're going to, say for instance, like you are right now, advocating for Edgemont, you being elected to a seat like this, it would amplify more. You could get things more done.
Yeah, and we know that, but the fact of the matter is, I'm not on the seat.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not anywhere, so I can just tell people what I.
But that's why this message and what we're talking about is trying to get people to think. Why are we electing these people who don't do anything?
Well, that's again, it's frustrating.
But then you've got these warlocks running around named Denise Fleming, and these people who claim that they're such champions of the people. Unless it's election season, you don't see these people. Now, we never went away. We're still fighting. I'm still bringing up issues.
Yeah.
But she's running around getting awards and taking selfies.
Well, see, her persona. That's what she like doing. Mm-hmm. But see, being a leader, you got to do more than. It's not even about pictures, because being a leader, you got to be out there to galvanize people to get things done. Mm-hmm. That's what you do. You galvanize people. Mm. You just don't tell them how to do it. We say you lead by example.
Right.
You out there speaking. You bringing ideas. You bringing solutions. Even though your solutions may people not like, but at least you're doing it.
Real quick, just came in. I have got notification that a Moreno Valley public official going through the county records downtown Riverside has a case. And we're going to get more information on it. We're going to report that as soon as possible. It might not be that important, but I just think that it is public record. So if you're interested, you might want to Google and look up a public official, a person, and they have a case. And unfortunately, it's not Victoria Baca. as of right now. But it just broke. I just found it. It's there. I'm going to break that out to you a little bit later when I get some more information. I want to confirm it, make sure everything is correct. But a person has a case or had a case down in Riverside, and I am reading the gist of it right now. And hopefully that person better call me, or I am going to spill the beans on that. But we'll get back to you on that one. Before we go, idiot forcible rape Morgan. What is your take on Mr. Forcible Rape?
Well, as far as
him as a human being, I think he's a piece of shit. But and people always say, well, why are you always on this guy? Because I'm finding out that there's a lot of parents that don't know what this guy is into. And the more people know, the more it's going to show.
All I can say about this, you have to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
My take on it is the fact that even if you're not thinking about running for public office, you have to lead by example. If you have children, you have a wife, you have to lead by example. You have to set example. Moral standards or whatever. Because
can I ask you this? How could you get mad because people research your past that you put out there? I mean, you ran for office knowing all of this stuff could come up.
Well, that's the risk. That's
the risk you take.
That's the risk when you get into politics. It's dirty, but people have the right to know because you're a public official. They want to put you in the public trust. People have the right to know.
Absolutely,
they have every right to know everything you undone, and let it fall. Let the pieces fall where they may, and let the people decide whether you should be placing that trust.
And, Evan piece of shit Morgan, and I'm going to call him every name in the book. He is an elected official. And in 1966, the Supreme Court upheld the fact that you can outright basically lie on a public official. And your right is protected because they have many outlets to respond to my allegation. But they also can't sue a voter. But that's why when President Trump was like, oh, I'm going to sue this person, I'm going to sue. Did he ever sue? No, because he can't.
No. But yeah, that's the risk you take because it could be really bad because that's what you choose. If that's the life you want to do, you want to be in public trust. People have a right to know.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think it's right that I set the alarm on this guy because we did have a Mike Rios problem? And that's when people ask me, that is really one of the main reasons why I let people know about forcible rape Morgan. And when I say forcible rape, there is a video of him on YouTube, and he's simulating forcible rape on a doll. With a doll. I'm sorry, not on a doll. With a doll. And I think it's disgusting. And he has a daughter. And what's even more disgusting than that, he blames it on his daughter. Just disgusting. This guy is a disgusting human being, and he is on the Moreno Valley School Board.
Again, you have a right to bring up people. Yeah, they brought up my past.
Right.
It's what it is. Because I chose to go into the arena because that's the risk you take. But when you become in the public trust, everybody should know.
Everybody should know.
And that's how it is. You shouldn't hide anything.
All right.
It should be out. If you
and the best thing to do if something is that accept it and move on. Yep, that was me. Yep.
Well, that would be the perfect answer. Will be yes. I've learned from it. It was a lack of judgment.
Right. At 27 years old, you're not like an 18-year-old kid.
No,
you are a grown man.
Well, that's the thing. It's not that if you lie about something, you cut the cover up is worse than the lie.
Than the lie. Absolutely.
So you have to be straightforward and say, yeah, I made a mistake. I paid for it. But I'm moving on. Learn for it. I moved on.
Well, like I said, piece of shit Morgan. I think people and parents need to know, because a lot of parents aren't aware because they're in the matrix, that this guy used homophobic, racial, and sexist tweets. I have a problem with that because, that's not no mistake. That's no comedy routine. That's showing really how you feel. And it's a shame that let's be honest, people. If I used homophobic and racial tweets and things of that nature, I should wholeheartedly expect to get my ass kicked in the public domain.
Well, yeah,
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Well, yeah, because you put it out there, and it's that's on you. But
Right.
like I said, he should never have done that.
Right, but everybody keeps, well, not everybody, but people keep, well, what's going on? What's going on? And, maybe some people don't agree with me
Yeah.
in how I deliver my message,
Well,
whatever,
yeah.
but,
But
but this is how I deliver my message.
Well,
and I'm
that's-
not going to let up because I was a parent.
Yeah.
And if I had kids, I would be very, very worried about this idiot around children. He's on the school board. And I can say that not as necessarily an expert, but somebody who holds a degree in behavioral science.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hold a
I got
degree
you.
in. So this guy is a threat in the public domain, and he's around children. So you've been warned.
Well, that's what I say about voters. Voters haven't done a good job in electing people. That's all I can say. People,
Right.
they just haven't done. They let the ball drop several times, and we paying the price for it.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing when you're saying how these people get in. The voters have dropped the ball.
Well, like I said, they're in the matrix, and that's how they're trained to be.
Well,
But let me ask you this: my neighbors next door are shooting off illegal fireworks.
Oh, okay.
But that's what they do here.
oh,
We are in Edgemont Studios. But let me ask you this, Daryl. We got 10 minutes left.
Okay.
Real quick. A lot of good things are going to be starting to happen with the Daryl Terrell Times. Tell me what's up.
well, I'm beginning to get my message out. Some of my ideas, a little 2 cents on some of the positivity, some of the things I think about a lot, like hope or that's what my whole Daryl Terrell Times is about. It's about giving people positive messages in these dark times and trying to get people to look at the brighter side of things. The reality is it's what it is, our daily lives. But you deserve to have a better life, a better future. And that's what it's about. It's more.
But Daryl, why do you care so much?
Why I care so much? Because I lived in this community, and it not only because of that, I was brought up there. I had a mother and a father. I had a grandparents that cared about their community. They stood up for me, and I lived here. I had a chance to go back to Georgia after I graduated from college out here. And the reason why I didn't is because I saw this little town of Moreno Valley had potential. And my mother asked me my late mother asked me, she says, do you want to go home or you want to stay out here? And I decided to stay here because I got involved. I was on committees and I was involved in the community and I think I saw before all these warehouses piling up everywhere.
This is a beautiful place.
I saw this place had potential. And I care about people because I think people should have a right to live their American dream. So for me, why I care so much is because I think people should have a brighter tomorrow. Even though they're living, like you say, in the matrix, and maybe they don't see it because they got a whirlwind. Their life is like a whirlwind. But I think the fact that I'm a taxpayer in this town, and I think that somebody has to stand up for the future of this community.
Okay.
And no matter what the risk is, no matter if you get elected or you don't get elected, it's the fact that perseverance. And I saw what happened in the recalls. It's because people
When everybody got together.
care about their community. And why I'm so heavily involved, because the fact that I live in a community where I see 99 cent stores everywhere, check cashing places like that. I've never seen that before in the years I've been living here. And I see them growing up out of the ground and seeing people just giving up. And
Do you want to know one of the worst things that I've seen
what's that?
in this city? We have a military base not even 2 miles away from here. We can walk to it, literally. And you go to our memorial, which is surrounded by warehouses, in the city council area, the civic area, whatever, the police area, the mayor's office, whatever. You see that memorial that's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
There should be all kinds of names inscribed on that memorial. And my name's not inscribed either yet because I just, haven't been into it. But with the concentration of military people we have here, Adrian Mitchell's up there. Her name's up there. She was the first citizen killed in Moreno Valley in combat. I think I counted 6 to 9 people on that memorial. Mm-hmm. Now, how much money was spent to make that memorial? And the bricks and things like that. I think Dave Marquez, Jeffrey Gaiba, the city council in itself should look at the fees. I don't think a brick should cost $200. I'm on the memorial in my birth town, and it cost me $100 to be enshrined in the memorial over there, which is similar to the one we have here. It's similar, but whatever. And it's a damn shame we only have about like 9 people on that shrine.
Because of the fact, how much the brick cost, you say?
I think the brick is over $200. Those little flags that they run is $200. And this city should be overwhelmed with veterans on that memorial. And nobody brings these things up. And these people go to City Hall every day.
Well, it's the same thing you said before, like veterans, veteran issues. It seems like people don't understand. It's like my grandfather, World War II veteran. He was at Normandy. He was in first wave, crossing the beaches. And one of the things, he used to talk in vivid details about the fact that the reason that the way we live in this country, the way our lifestyle is because of the sacrifice of a lot of his brothers out there that died in your service.
It didn't come home.
In service in this country, but we place less, especially at City Hall, than the city itself on veteran issues. I mean, per se.
Right.
When and like you're saying, you got the memorial, but I look around and we don't do very much. I mean, we recognize, yes, but we just touch the surface again.
Right, but I'm saying, I don't know how much I wasn't here when that memorial was dedicated. I don't know how much it costs. But there should be, the concentration of veterans in this city, that thing should be overwhelmed with names.
It shouldn't be 100. It should be more affordable, feasible. Like it could be like $10 or something.
Well, I know inscription costs a lot, but I mean, no more than $50 to get people's names on there. I'm not going to pay $200 to have my flag flown. Aja Smith has her flag flown. Not that I won't pay it. I just haven't got around.
But
to
it should be
that.
more for what you guys have done for this country and your service to this community and throughout the world for freedom. It should be more affordable.
Right, but do you see what I'm saying? I'm not on the council
again,
and I am showing a way to generate revenue
for
the city. For the veterans, for veteran programs, homeless veterans, you lower the fees, and I bet you more veterans would sign up to get their name on that memorial. I mean, every time I pass by that, I'm like,
it should be more because this is a veteran. This is a veteran town.
A veteran town. You got a base right here.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
It's ridiculous.
When you don't have a veteran house like you have in
the housing coming up,
and not having a hospital, a VA, even a clinic. Do they have a clinic?
No,
here?
not here because we're within 13 miles of Loma Linda.
Well,
so
see, that's the thing about it. See, Aja get elected. Maybe she could bring some of those kind of services into this community,
right?
Because you would think a lot of emphasis would have been on veteran issues when it comes to the city, whether state, federal, whatever, housing, mental health.
Well, I agree with you, but what I'm saying is, I'm trying to localize what the city can be doing, and this city does not do enough for its veterans. You have that memorial must have cost a minimum of $50,000, and I think I'm really lowballing it.
Yeah,
and you got less than 9 names inscribed on it, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, I look around it. You see the rooms where they have the names could be there. There should be way more names on that issue, and then the paperwork. I mean, to me, to get your name inscribed, you just submit a DD-214, put their name up. With the fee, whatever the fee is, but the fee shouldn't be $200.
Well, I see what you're saying, but again, you have people on the council, depends who's on the council. Because, I mean...
we have 2 veterans on the council right now.
Exactly, but again, it would be different.
Maybe I need to send them an email and just bring that idea up.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that it depends who's the person. Now, I always go back to that because if you... a veteran, okay, that should brings more emphasis into what we're doing for veterans itself.
Well, and it also brings different factions to me, one of the biggest communities in this city is the veterans.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it crosses over ethnic backgrounds and all that other stuff. That La Familia stuff, it's not the same in the military. You have a La Familia, but it's about people, whatever your organization is. And
this is a military town.
It's a military town.
Basically, that's what it is. It's a military town, but it seems like more emphasis on military now. More than when it comes to the 4th of July, Veterans Day.
Well, yeah, that's because we're in war and stuff. We're in perpetual war. But what I'm saying is, again, you have two people up there that have military backgrounds, and they sit up there with, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, because these are my friends, but I got to call you out.
You got to do a lot more. I mean,
you're sitting up there. I mean, if you don't know what to do, it's just like what LaDonna Jimson said. Well, I don't know what to do. Look around. Edgemont, what are you talking about? We still have a water problem going on. Yeah. You don't need anybody to tell you what needs to be done in Edgemont. And as a veteran, it's right in front of City Hall. You pass by it. Look at that memorial, $100,000, whatever the city paid, and you only got 9 names on it?
Well, that thing should be filled to the brim.
To the brim.
Yeah. I agree.
We've got young people that are getting out of the Marine Corps and the Army that have come back home looking for jobs. Yeah. Let them charge them a $50 fee and put their name and put a brick on the.
It's not enough done for military people, personnel.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's just not. It's unfortunate.
But by doing that, see, here's another idea that I have. Now you have money that can go to help for veterans issues within the city.
Yeah, because there's a lot. I mean, they used to have a veterans committee. They used to.
Oh no, you can't have it because veterans we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Why was it the reason why they decided not to go with it?
Because you got Idiot Gutierrez, who's probably a big pussy.
I mean, that's to me
because he wants his little youth council.
Well,
which you never hear about anymore.
Well,
by the way,
there you go. See a human commission. Mm-hmm. Like some cities, always have a human. Like even Rivers, a human relations commission.
Yeah,
but a vet is the most important. You're in a military town. Why? There's so many veterans in this town.
Why do you think Moreno Valley is a joke? Because we are electing people who have no ideas.
Yeah.
And let's look at it. The youngest person on there is 22 years old, and he can't even wipe his own ass.
See, that's.
We need progressive people, Republican and Democrat, progressives that have ideas that are going to generate revenue and move the city forward.
I totally agree with you.
And we don't have that right now. And I think that's a big, big problem.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking about we're a military town, about no veterans committee. Veterans.
Embarrassing.
The county has one.
Right. Very embarrassing. But we have a memorial that has 9 names on it. You're talking about cost effective. You're talking about saving money. Is that saving money? That memorial should be paying for itself by now in the fees. It should be spilled over. When you go over there, all the bricks on the ground, it should be spilled with names on there. Spilled with names on it. But no, there's none. Because, number one, the city doesn't even advertise it.
See, that's another thing.
But these are just issues I want to bring up. But everybody, I want you to tune in on Facebook and go to Daryl Terrell Times, because that is going to be a very influential Facebook page where Daryl's going to espouse his show, his ideas, and what he wants to get out. Everybody knows Daryl's not a very negative person, which is great. People say that I'm a negative person, which is not true. I just...
You just read it?
Yeah, I just tell it the way I see it, and I don't give a damn who likes it or not. And if I'm wrong, please tell me and show me how wrong I am. MV Gordy, please don't be listening to this right now. Aja, please don't be listening to this right now. Kathleen Dale, don't be listening to this right now. You guys know all who you are, who keep telling me how messed up I am and I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm trying.
Well, you got a good heart because you want people to be informed. Because if you're not informed, then you have these forces that come in and dominate the whole situation.
And that's where we're at right now. And as you guys heard, we have neighbors in Moreno Valley that are popping off fireworks that I should be able to put a $1,000 bounty on their asses and lock them up. Hey, this has been the Hot Seat Radio Show for this week. You guys please tune in to Daryl Terrell Times, and also Loving the Skin I'm In. Got some great feedback on that. Tay Wilder, Deep D Culture, and Miss Deja. They're going to be hosting that as well. Pastor Don weekly and daily podcast. Please check that out. You can download these things on app and Google Store, App Store, whatever you want to call it, Apple Store, whatever the deal is. been a great week. You guys stay chilled. Do the best you can. We still have a water problem over here in Edgemont. And check out the local animal shelter. We still got problems there. See you next week.